Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Nico Chabangu. I call my channel Basic Engineering. So today let's talk a bit about how to calibrate an I2P converter. An I2P converter, it's an abbreviation of current to pressure. Where is it used? Say for instance you have an actuator that can only take the input of pressure instead of current. What we need an I2P to convert the signal received from the controller or from the sensor as current and then convert it to pressure. That's where the I2P comes in. An I2P converter is this thing cycled now. You see there's an input in current form between 4 to 20 milliamp and the output side. That's when you get the pressure conversion. What happens is the output pressure that you get, it needs to be supplied from the compressor. So what you do from your control side, you receive the input as current as I'm cycling it, and then the pressure that you need to get on the output, it needs to be supplied from somewhere. So you supply it through the regulator, but it basically comes from the compressor. So okay, I'm back now. So to find out whether your I2P will operate correctly, in order for your valve to respond according to the signal received, what you need to do is that's when you need to calibrate your I2P. There's a standard table that we have, but it will depend on your company requirements, because they can always change the numbers or change the outputs from the input signal that you receive. Let's take it on a standard form, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say our input signal, that is the current side, I, and then our output, that's the pressure side, that is P or kPa. Okay. Now let's say for instance we input 4 milliamps from the controller, and then according to this table we are supposed to get 20 kPa, and then 8 milliamps we get 40 kPa. Okay, and then on 12 milliamps we're supposed to get 60 kPa. 16 milliamps, we're supposed to get 80 kPa, and then on 20 milliamps, we're supposed to get 100 kPa. That's what we need to make sure that when our I2P converts according to this table. It can always change, like I've said, according to your company requirements or the project requirements. What will happen now, we'll connect there's an instrument called a source and injector. It's a special instrument that can give you this signal. So this instrument called a source injector, it's designed to be able to source this 4, say, to 20 milliamps signal to your I2P. That's what you use to calibrate your instrument. Let's say from your source now, you inject 4 milliamps to your I2P input signal, and then what you get on the output. Okay, before we go any further, I forgot to tell you guys that, for instance, the instrument will tell you the input supply from your compressor, the maximum, the range, I mean to say. So according to our training standard, the input of the I2P supply, we'll put it to 140 kPa. This has nothing to do with what you need to get on the outside. This is just a standard pressure that you need to put. The outside reading will be determined according to what input signal do you put into your I2P. As I was saying, let's say you put 4 milliamps into your current side supply for the I2P, and what you get on the output is say 30 kPa. This is not according to what you're supposed to get from the table. So what you do on the instrument itself, the I2P, there's 2 adjustment screws, one for 0 adjustment and then the other one for span. The span will normally be your maximum, and then the 0 adjustment will be your life 0. The life 0 and the dead 0, it's a topic for another day, but to cut it short, your life 0 on the input current will be 4 milliamps. I'll explain in another video why it has to be 4 milliamps, and then your life 0 on the pressure side, it will be 20 kPa as according to the table. So hence I was saying, if you supply 4 milliamps to your I2P input electrical signal, and only to find out your output gets to 30 kPa, what will happen now, you need to use this 0 adjustment screw to adjust this pressure back to 20 kPa. When you succeed doing that, then you move on to supply to inject your input now with 20 milliamps from your source. When you supply 20 milliamps, you are supposed to get an output on the pressure side of 100 kPa according to our specification table here. So for argument's sake, again, if you don't manage to get 100 kPa, for instance, you get 70 kPa on an input of 20 milliamps. What you do now, instead of adjusting the 0 adjustment screw, you then adjust the span adjustment screw. When you adjust the span adjustment screw, you need to adjust it up to 100 kPa. When you're done doing that, just to confirm if everything is set up accordingly, and your I2P will convert your currents to pressure according to what you desire, you can go back to inject 4 milliamp and see if it does correspond to 20 kPa output, and then inject your 20 milliamps to see if it gets to 100 kPa. To be able to see the other numbers between 2 to 4, you can also, the instrument itself can allow you to inject 8, 12 and 16 milliamps to see if it does correspond to this 40 kPa, 60 and 80 kPa. And once that is confirmed, there you go, you have just completed your I2P converter calibration. Thank you guys for viewing my channel. Till we meet again.